let's start off with Notre Dame, okay? Because that's going to be where we disagree here to some extent. I don't think that Notre Dame's going to be a number 5 seed. They're going to have to go undefeated and potentially be a borderline or a team that they would have considered to be in the top 4. I'm not buying in on. I know that you're trying to sell me on them offensively. I've talked to people that left LSU staff that are on there. You can buy it all you want to. The staff's not buying it right now. Defensively, you're going to be really good. Your schedule is soft as tissue paper. I'm with you. You're going to be in the playoff. You don't deserve to be at 5 when you're not in a conference. You play a less game. They're not putting you at 5. You're putting them at 5 because you want them to make a playoff run.
No, stop it. Seriously, wait. We can have this conversation. Remove the shit with the me putting them there because I want them to have a playoff run.
What else did you put them there for?
Because I'm willing to put on the table here that I do think that they go 12-0. Understandably, from the information that you're getting, I don't have the same information that has been told to me. I don't think that there's really as much of an offensive concern as you're painting it to be. They're going to be fine offensively. You have a quarterback who missed most of the spring who is just returning to action, okay? They have the ability to eventually figure out some of those issues. I believe that they're going to beat Texas A&M, which I've said before, and the only other difficult game on their schedule is against Florida State, who I've projected in this playoff field at home in November. A Florida team traveling to Indiana when it is going to be freezing as shit. Having to travel to that situation is not going to end well for them. And more importantly, the last time DJU had to do that and travel in the end of the season to go to Notre Dame, he played horribly. They are fully capable of
properties don't work.
That's not a transitive property. I have an example of when he played at Notre Dame.
So he hasn't gotten better at all.
No, he hasn't gotten any better. We've already talked about this and yelled about this on this show. He's from California. He played at a Southern school, and he's now playing at another Southern school. He is too used to the climate of those situations, and so is that team. That is important to talk about in this conversation. Them going 12-0 is extremely plausible for what you just said. Their schedule is tissue paper. It is extremely easy, and if they beat Texas A&M at the start of the season, that is enough of a momentum builder, in my opinion, to carry them through the rest of the year because they don't face anybody. That's what I'm saying. I think they get completely wiped by Georgia. Is it a coincidence they face off with a Utah team that they can capably beat? It's just how the bracket shapes up if they end up as the 5 seed. I stand by the point. I know that some people think I'm being biased. I try so hard every day on this show not to be biased when I talk about them, but I'm not going to do the opposite and try and put some sort of handicap in this projection because I'm a Notre Dame fan. I'm just not going to.
Does strength of schedule not matter to you?
If you're 12-0, they're not going to just move them down. They'd have 2 ranked wins theoretically if Texas A&M and Florida State.
Yeah, but at the end of the year, that A&M win could look like dog shit.
I think that it's pretty likely that they finish the year ranked.
If your second best win is Ole Miss's 4th, then what? So even if Ole Miss or Oregon or whoever has losses, if your best win, potentially one of your better wins, is an A&M team that might be a 4th or 5th best win for LSU, Ole Miss, whoever gets in here, Joe, I'm going to continue to tell you this. It's not created equally.
But you projected a potentially 10-2 Penn State team who plays a relatively similar schedule to make the playoff.
No, they don't.
What do you mean they don't? You put a Penn State.
They're going to face more ranked opponents than you are.
No, they aren't. We looked at their schedule. The only way that they make the playoff is because they have an easy schedule. I'm going to pull it up right now. They don't play Michigan this year.
No, they don't. And I don't. By the way, when we get to the AP poll, remind me of Michigan. I think that they're going to be the team that falls out of it. But they play Ohio State. Name their schedule.
Okay, I'm going to quickly read this. West Virginia, Bowling Green, Kent State, Illinois, UCLA, USC, Wisconsin, Ohio State.
USC's ranked.
Okay, that's one ranked team. Ohio State's the other ranked team. Washington won't be ranked at the end of the year. Purdue won't be ranked at the end of the year. Minnesota won't be ranked at the end of the year. And Maryland won't be ranked at the end of the year. They have 2 cupcake games. just like Notre Dame does, and they play the
But
back
we're not
half.
putting Penn State at 5. You are.
That's not what.
But I'm not putting.
Okay, wait. Hold on.
Your argument is, well, you didn't do it for Penn State. You're right. I didn't do it for Penn State. I didn't put Penn State above those teams.
My argument is that a 10-2. My argument is that very similar schedules. If Penn State goes 10-2 and they're not getting into the playoff. If Notre Dame goes
10-2, really.
I think that it is more than plausible for them to go 12-0, and an undefeated team is going to get recognition unless Riley Leonard goes down with an injury right before the playoff like Florida State did.
I could see a path if they went 12-0, they'd be a 5 seed. I'm not as bullish on them as you are. I don't think that they're going 12-0. I legitimately don't.
Who do you think that they lose to?
I don't know. I do think that A&M game is interesting. I think Florida State is interesting. I mean, you got a whole schedule that you got to play out. You're going on the road in Kyle Field. You have no idea what to expect from them week 1. Every Notre Dame fan that I've seen on social media, and this is not a joke, has already started to pencil that in as a win. It's not, you can't pencil in wins.
Obviously, you can't.
Again, I just don't think that they're going 12-0. It is what it is. You can disagree, but I have them at 7 going up against LSU, and I got them losing at home just to piss you off.
I don't think that happens either. If Notre Dame at home, okay. When was the serious question? This weather thing is important, and it's something that we've never been exposed to, that Southern teams could have to go up and play in Big Ten country.
Okay, well, then
when is the last time LSU in November has gone?
Let me use your logic. Then you're coming down to 100-degree heat in Texas and getting your shit kicked in.
Okay, beginning of the season weather does not apply to this situation.
How does it not apply?
Because everybody is practicing in the heat.
No,
everybody has exposure to practicing in the heat.
Sorry, no, you're not. It is not the same kind of heat in Indiana that you got in Texas right now. You need to get that shit out your mind. Look at my tan line from practice. Bullshit. It's 101 degrees out here, and y'all out there pity-patting in this 85-degree weather. Don't you dare come down here and tell me that you're going through the same things that we are.
When was the last time you saw snow? When was the last time you saw snow? Serious question. It's a serious question.
When's the last time you saw snow?
All right, 3 years. I'm just. Okay. Well, I think you're undervaluing how cold and how hard it is to play in the cold.
Texas and you start cramping because you're playing in a different kind of heat and humidity.
Everybody plays in some form of heat. Most teams don't get the exposure to Midwestern cold. They don't. When was the last time LSU played in the Midwest in November? In December. Sorry, in December.
I don't remember. But they're not losing that game. Joe, it's 76 in South Bend, Indiana right now. 76 degrees. And you're going to try to convince me that there's not a massive difference. Get out of here with that.
What's the coldest it gets in Louisiana or in
Literally
Texas?
this year was 8 degrees.
I really don't think that there is any. I think you're underestimating
the weather, like where the goddamn
because it's important. It's important. It's so important. It's something that we've never had exposure to. Continue though. Sorry. This video is sponsored by the online fitness training camp presented by Chris Gates Fitness. When I first started talking about Chris, about partnering with our show, not only was I excited to have a fitness sponsor for our pod, but more importantly, when I found out about how he can help people achieve their goals, I was even more bought in, because when the football season starts, it is so tough to stay on top of things and also to be able to enjoy yourself on Saturdays when it's game day. With Chris Gates Fitness's online training camp, you're going to be able to effectively stay focused, consistent, burn fat, build muscle, and do it with a like-minded community of individuals working towards the same thing. On top of this, you're going to be able to get direct coaching from Chris and the ability to ask him questions with an access to a live Q&A where you can get direct personalized support from Chris himself. Don't wait any longer. If you're trying to get in shape during this fall and you want to be able to do it with the right support system, head on over to chrisgatesfitness.com/training camp or click the link in the description, and you need to do it today because you can get the first month. Personal training's expensive, folks. The first month for only $10 when you use that code RuffinoJoe. Don't wait any longer. Head on over there. BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.